Brooks Robinson's the batter. On the 3-2 pitch, both runners are going. A ground ball to third. Ed Charles makes a split-second decision, goes to first. Out. The game is over. The Mets win it 2-1. Their first World Series victory. And the series is now tied at 1 game apiece. A happy airline hostess greets the victorious Mets as they board their charter flight for New York City, where the next 3 games will be played. It's wonderful to fly the friendly skies when that flight leads home. And home is beautiful Shea Stadium on the edge of Flushing Meadow Park. Big Shea, where the amazing Met fans pour in by the thousands. Starting pitchers for Game 3 are rookie Gary Gentry and Jim Palmer. Celebrities seem to be everywhere. But of course, the real celebrities of Shea Stadium are the amazing fans with their ubiquitous banners. The spirit of the Met fans seems to stimulate the Met players. They believe they're fans and vice versa.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Shea Stadium for the 3rd game of the 1969 World Series. Here are the official lineups. First, the Baltimore Orioles. Here's the manager of the Orioles, number 4, Earl Weaver. Batting first, playing left field, number 9, Don Buford. Batting second, playing center field, number 6, Paul Blair. Batting third, playing right field, number 20, Frank Robinson. Batting fourth, playing first base, number 26, John Powell. Batting fifth, playing third base, number 5, Brooks Robinson. Batting sixth, catching, number 10, Elrod Hendricks. Batting seventh, playing second base, number 15, Dave Johnson. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, number 7, Mark Belanger. Batting ninth, pitching for the Orioles, warming up in the bullpen, number 22, Jim Palmer. Here are the remaining players and coaches of the Baltimore Orioles. Mike Cuellar, Clay Dalrymple, Andy Etchebarren, Bob Floyd, Dick Hall, Jim Harden, Dave Leonard, Marcelino Lopez, Dave May, Dave McNally, Kurt Motten, Tom Phoebus, Merv Rettenmund, Pete Rickard, Chico Simone, Eddie Watt. Coaches, George Bamberger, Billy Hunter, Charlie Lau, George Staller. Now for the New York Mets. Here's the manager, number 14, Gil Hodges. Batting first, playing center field, number 20, Tommy Agee. Batting second, playing third base, number 11, Wayne Garrett. Batting third, playing left field, number 21, Cleon Jones. Batting fourth, playing right field, number 24, Art Shamsky. Batting fifth, playing second base, number 12, Ken Boswell. Batting sixth, playing first base, number 7, Ed Cranepool. Batting seventh, catching, number 15, Jerry Garodi. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, number 3, Bud Harrelson. Batting ninth, pitching for the New York Mets, warming up in the Mets bullpen, number 39, Gary Gentry. Here are the remaining players and coaches of the New York Mets. Don Cardwell, Ed Charles, Don Clendenon, Jack DeLauro, Duffy Dyer, Rod Gasper, Cal Kuntz, Jerry Koosman, J.C. Martin, Jim McAndrew, Tug McGraw, Nolan Ryan, Tom Seaver, Ron Swoboda, Ron Taylor, Al Weiss. Coaches, Yogi Berra, Joe Pignatano, Rube Walker, and Eddie Yost. And now, to throw out the first ball of the game, the former great catcher of the Brooklyn Dodgers and Hall of Famer,
Roy Campanella, 5 times in a World Series, Hall of Fame catcher, one of the most popular players to ever play, not only in the Major League, but in the New York area. Paralyzed after a tragic automobile accident, but still with enthusiasm, a bright, alert mind, and a great human quality to him, has had the honor of throwing out the first ball here today. And as they meet to go over the ground rules at home plate with Weaver and Hodges there with the 6 umpires, here's Lindsey Nelson.
All right, Kurt Gowdy, yesterday somebody said to Gil Hodges, who has played in a number of World Series, is it more difficult managing in a World Series or playing in a World Series? He said, oh, playing is much more difficult because you don't have to worry about going 0 for 21, which he once did in a World Series. Ball players yesterday, as they worked out here, and both teams did work out here yesterday, characterized this park as a hitter's ballpark. Most people who come into it for the first time look around and decide that it is. In other words, if you hit it, you get it here at Shea Stadium as the New York Mets now take the field. The wind is rippling the flag just a little bit, not a great deal of wind at this time, ripping it out a little bit here at Shea. Under overcast skies, and as Kurt Gowdy mentioned, it's been alternately sunny and cloudy throughout the morning and early afternoon here at Shea. Game number 3 of the World Series, game number 4 and game number 5 scheduled here on successive days. All even at 1 game each, the two teams having split the 2 in Baltimore. And this is an historic moment, the first World Series game for the Mets ever in New York, as young Gary Gentry is on the way to the mound.
All right, Lindsey, here are the Mets defensively.
your attention please.
At first base is Ed Cranepool.
Of those of you
Ken Boswell's
sitting on
at
the
second.
foul line, boxing,
Bud Harrelson's at short.
umpire, at
Wayne
home plate.
Garrett will be at
Sorry,
third.
nap is requested.
In left field is Cleon Jones.
From hanging over the
In
railing.
center field, Tom Agee.
Thank you for your courtesy.
Shamsky's in right field, Art Shamsky. Jerry Grody is catching. And 23-year-old Gary Gentry. He was 23 just a few days ago on October 6th. Won 13, lost 12 during the year. An earned run average of 3.42. leading rookie winner in the major leagues this year, his third pro season. And we should be able to tell in the first inning or two about Gentry. If he's got it, he usually displays that form in the early innings and rides right on through. If he's struggling or having problems, that usually means he doesn't have the stuff that day and they'll get him out of there. He clinched or pitched the pennant clincher for the Mets against the Cardinals on September 24th, a 6-0 shutout. Don Buford, the switch hitter, will be leading off. So the Mets have put 4 players in their lineup that did not play in Baltimore, as Hodges plays the right and left-handed platoon, and the only place that the Orioles platoon's the catcher. The rest of the players will go all the way for the Orioles. Don Buford. Gentry's first pitch, ball 1. A 1-1 pitch. Curve, 1 ball, 2 strikes. A 1-2 delivery. High breaking pitch or a change of some kind. A high fly ball out to Tom Agee in center field. 2 down.
Batting in the third position.
Here's Frank Robinson,
Right fielder.
who has a bruised left instep that bothered him Sunday. But according to the Baltimore team doctor, it's getting better hour by hour, not day by day. Then he may get a little tired on the instep in the late innings. Robinson's had no hits in 7 times up in this series. The Mets have stopped the big boys. Frank Robinson, Powell, and Brooks Robinson. The middle 3 of the batting order have had only 2 hits in 22 times up. Robinson recovering from a concussion and double vision that plagued him half of 67 and last year. Hit .308 this year, had 100 RBIs. Here's the 3-2 pitch. He's on. Gentry just missing with that fastball.
Batting in the fourth position. First baseman. Number 26.
John Wellesley Booth Powell coming up. 1 hit in 7 times. The gentle giant. Always funny, Lindsay, these big fellas. They're always such nice guys. If they were mean, this man weighs 245 or 250.
I always thought that was true of Ted Blazewski.
Same way. Walt Dropo, fellas like that. Frank Howard. Ground ball, broken back grounder. Boswell over the first, and the Orioles are out on the top of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. Middle of the first inning, the score, the Orioles nothing, and the Mets are coming to bat. Handsome Jim Palmer on the mound. Here's the defense. Powell at first for the Orioles. Johnson at second. Belanger at short. Robinson at third. Buford in left. Blair in center. Frank Robinson in right. Hendricks the catcher. And Jim Palmer, who'll be 24 years old tomorrow, pitching. 6'3", 190. Grew up in Los Angeles. Then attended high school at Scottsdale, Arizona. He attended Arizona State University and Towson State College. He was born, by the way, in New York and then moved to the West Coast. Tom Agee has been held hitless in 8 times. Lindsay and I were talking to Red Shadings, the manager of the Cardinals, before the game. Ball 1, and Shadings, as a manager, those 2 fellas in the dugouts must be saying, when's the top of the order going to start to hit? The bottom of the order have been doing the hitting for these 2 clubs. Strike with his fastball. When Palmer's right, he's as fast as anyone. The fastball, curve, a changeup. 66, he was mostly a fastball pitcher. He has a better command now. The slider, it's outside 2-1. Due to assorted ailments, primarily in his back and right shoulder, he's been unable to pitch most of 67 and 68. There's a drive hit to deep center. Blair going back, and that one is gone. On a 2-1 pitch, Agee leads off with a homer. 1-0 Mets. Tommy Agee, first man up for the home team, reacts to the fans' enthusiasm with this tremendous shot. Home run to center. Score 1-0 New York. Drag a line drive right over the center field fence. Buford led off the opening game with a home run for the Orioles. Wayne Garrett hit .218 on the year. His first World Series appearance. Strike two. Well, we'll see how that home run shakes Palmer up. On the corner. Garrett caught looking, one down.
Batting in the third. Left fielder, number 21, Leon Jones, number 21.
Leon Jones has had one hit in 8 times in the series, hit .340 for the year. His buddy Tom Agee said today by the batting cage that Jones would have won the National League batting championship if he hadn't been injured. He was hitting, wasn't he, Lindsay, around .350 and going strong.
He led for most of the year and then had successive injuries and finished third behind Clemente and Pete Rose, who won it.
2-1 pitch. Fly ball into right center. Frank Robinson calls for it and puts it away on the edge of the warning track. 2 down.
Batting in the fourth position.
Kurt, as you had observed in the first 2 games, Paul Blair plays an extremely shallow center field, and he's playing it here again today. Many center fielders say the ball is tough to pick up here at Shea Stadium. He could get in trouble.
We were asking Agee about that, and he said with these big deck stands and the ball leaves the bat and the crowd's in the background, that sometimes you lose it momentarily. Art Shamsky, 28 years old today. Everybody seems to be having their birthday around World Series time. Shamsky up once to the pinch hitter in the series. There's a long drive. And backing up is Robinson, and he has it. Well, the Mets put some wood on the ball in the first inning. 2 long flies and a home run. 1 run, 1 hit. There were no errors and nobody left. At the end of the first inning, it's the Mets 1 and Baltimore nothing.
Third baseman, number 5.
The coaches for Baltimore,
Robinson.
George Stoller at first and Billy Hunter at third. Brooks Robinson leading off. Brooks has had 1 hit in 8 times. He has put on the show of shows at third, though, for the first 2 games. Ball 1. Somebody told him, Lindsay, before the game, I'm getting tired of seeing you in those slow motion reruns and all those brilliant plays. Ellie Hendricks on deck. Curve is hit to short. Harrelson digs it up and throws him out. One out for the Orioles in the top of the second. Elrod Hendricks up. 1 hit in 3 times.
Number 10.
Played in the opening game.
Hendricks.
Hit .244 for the season.
Number 10.
He has some power as a pull hitter to right. And as we look out, Art Shamsky knows this and is back on the edge of the warning track in right field. There he is. See how deep he's playing? Shamsky. He pops it up. Wayne Garrett, the third baseman, calling for this one. 2 down. Of course, the pitchers have to put the ball back to your nest. But that fella's an interesting for you. That man's name is Earhart. He's a commercial sign artist. And they tell him he brings about 60 signs out. He has a filing system down at the bottom of his feet. And he entertains there with those professional signs during the game.
They had a contest to pick the 25 greatest Met fans this summer. He was one of them.
2 down, nobody on. Dave Johnson, the Orioles second baseman. Ball 1 to him. Dave has had no hits in 4 times. Batted .280 for the season. He blew that one right by him. 1-1. Gentry looks quick, Lindsay.
Yes, he's very sharp today, and as Gil Hodges indicated to you before the game, you can tell on him pretty early.
1 ball, 1 strike. Foul hit deep. Good grab. Yes, sir. Outside of Brooks Robinson, that's the play of the series.
You're right.
And it's another pop-up. Harrelson, the shortstop, scooting out in shallow left. The Orioles are retired, 1-2-3. At the end of an inning and a half, it's the New York Mets 1 and the Baltimore Orioles nothing. Boswell on the first pitch, a high foul in back of the plate that is just out of play. Boswell playing in his first series game, hit .279 for the season. He's been better with a bat this year than he's been with a glove. He's developing into quite a hitting infielder. He's dangerous. Gil Hodges put in 4 left-handed hitters today that did not play in Baltimore against Cuellar and McNally. Left-handed starters. Palmer's 1-strike pitch. Rounding ball. Powell stabs it. Here's his throw to Palmer. Luke Powell, a very underrated defensive first baseman. He has a lot more agility than you think, and he is excellent on throwing balls, too.
Number 7, Ed Cranepool. Number 7.
Ed Cranepool, first World Series time at bat. Hit .238 for the year. Pops it up to the left side. Mark Belanger will handle this one, the shortstop. 2 down. Jerry Grody. The Met catchers had 2 hits and 8 times up. With .252 for the year. Yogi Berra, who has so many World Series checks, he can't count them at first, and over at third is Eddie Yost, the walking man, when he was with the Washington Senators. Ball 2, Palmer's curve way outside. 3-0. Palmer didn't like his step or stride off the mound. Good-looking fellow, isn't he? 3 balls and no strikes. Right in there, 3-1. He had an earned run average of 2.34. The lowest earned run average in the American League was Dick Bosman of the Senators, 2.19. We lost Grody for 2 down.
Batting in the 8th position. Shortstop, number 3, Bud Hamilton. Number 3.
Bud Harrelson's up now. Base hit to center. Ware up with it. Stopping at second is Grody. Harrelson at first.
Batting in the 9th position.
And Gary Gentry coming up.
Number 39. Gary Gentry. Number 39.
He hit .081. Oh, the Mets are threatening now. Runners on first and second, 2 down. A drive in the right center. And it's going to score 2 runs. Gentry's coming to second, and he doubles to knock in 2. Incredible is right. Gentry knocked in only 1 run all year. And he doubles on the first pitch, a very weak hitting pitcher. No wonder they call him the Amazing Mets. This is George Bamberger, the Met pitching coach. And we're going to get some action now in the Baltimore bullpen. Gentry on second. Curve has beat to Robinson at third. Robinson throws him out and the side's retired. But the Mets came up with 2 runs, 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 left. At the end of 2 innings, it's the New York Mets 3 and Baltimore nothing. Julian Goodman there with a button in his lapel, the president of the National Broadcasting Company, and on his right, chatting away is Dick Forbes, the advertising manager of Chrysler Corporation. And Earl Warren, former Chief Justice Warren. Ground ball in the hole by Belanger. Harrelson with a good throw has him. Kranepool going out to meet it with a big stretch. 1 out. And Jim Palmer, the pitcher's up now. High foul. This may have a shot on this. Kempski right on the edge of the Met dugout. Or Kranepool, I should say. Kranepool.
Fielder, Don Buford, number 9.
Two down, nobody on. Top of the order now, and Don Buford up. He struck out his first time. Boy finished strong. He had, well, so did the Mets, all of them. He won 4 and lost 1 in September. They popped down the line in foul ground, and Harrelson, the shortstop, takes it. Oh, these Mets are really hustling today. 3 up and 3 down. At the end of 2.5 innings, it's the New York Mets 3 and the Baltimore Orioles nothing. Wayne Garrett, Cleon Jones, and Art Shamsky in the last of the 3rd inning.
Garrett, number 11.
Mets had a run in the first, 2 in the second. Jim Palmer's pitch. Inside. 3-0, and again Palmer struggling. Garrett's just 21 years old. He lives in Sarasota, Florida. We're going to have more action in the bullpen of the Orioles. Ball 4. He walks him on 4 pitches. Lopez and Harden are going to start warming up again. Here's George Bamberger, the Baltimore pitching coach, coming out. Bamberger goes to the mound to talk about control. He knows what he's talking about. In 1958, there were Lopez and Harden warming up. Bamberger pitched for Vancouver and set a Pacific Coast League record, which still stands. He pitched 68 2/3 consecutive innings and didn't give up a walk. So when he says get the ball over, he knows his subject. Runner on first is Wayne Garrett. Nobody out. Cleon Jones, the number 3 man in the batting order of the Mets, is up. He flied to right his first time. Hit the ball deep. Curve is a strike. Pulled him on the curve. And a strikeout number 2 for Jim Palmer.
Right fielder,
Here's Art Shamsky. Speaking of a bad back that Palmer's been plagued with, Shamsky's played with a bad back all year. He's got that nerve root pain down his leg. He said after the series he's going to have his back examined again. The possibility that he could have a back operation. He's playing on pain pills, he says. Without him, he couldn't play. 1 out, Garrett at first. Ooh, he had something on that one. Strike 1 to Shamsky. Fly to deep right his first time. This fella was red hot against the Braves in the championship series. Runner going. Powell up with it. They'll have to go to first. There was a run and hit. The runner was going. He had a big jump. Powell wanted to go to second for the force, but saw he'd be too late there. So scrambled back to first to get Shamsky unassisted. 2 down now, and Garrett's in scoring position. Ken Boswell coming up, grounded out to first. There's a long drive to right. That's not carrying today out that way, though, as Frank Robinson backs up. The breeze looks like it's blowing in now, and balls hit to right are not carrying as they usually do. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. At the end of 3, it's the New York Mets 3 and the Baltimore Orioles nothing.
Listen, Bob Merrill,
Tony?
this is quite a team, isn't it?
What a team. It reminds me of the old Dodgers. So much excitement in the stadium. And I'm an old friend of Gil and a Brooklyn Sandlot ball player, and I'm thrilled to death. I'm more nervous than I am at the opera.
Bob Merrill, thank you so much. Wish we could talk longer. Let's get back now upstairs in the live action.
Fine, Tony.
Thank you, Robert.
Top of the 4th inning, Paul Blair takes a strike from young Gary Gentry. Blair flied to center his first time. So it's really ironic that these 2 starting pitchers both graduated from high schools in the same area. Palmer from Scottsdale High School right outside of Phoenix, and Gentry from a high school in Phoenix. Strike 3. Quick slider, it looked like. Second strikeout for Gentry. Frank Robinson up, walked his first time. Thanks very much to the Mets management for the message on the board, Lindsay.
Absolutely.
Here's a drive to left. It's trapped. It is a base hit. Leon Jones trapped the ball. That's the first hit for the Orioles.
Let's take a look at it again now. Robinson with the drive into left, and Cleon comes up now and decides to try to shoestring it. And it's on the ground, short hopped, and the umpire down the line is Hank Sork. Take a look at this swing now, one of the great swings in baseball, Frank Robinson.
It's a sinking liner to left. Cleon Jones dives for it. Did he get it? Let's look again. No, on the first bounce, says umpire Hank Storr. With Robinson on first, Boog Powell's up. Robinson's on, the first hit for the Orioles. Boog Powell slams it to right field. Robinson is coming to third. Shamsky's throw goes to second. The Orioles have runners on first and third, with 1 out. Brooks Robinson grounded out his first time. Runners on first and third, 1 away. Struck him out. And a term you've heard since you were a kid, the old high hard one.
That's just what it was. You know, right out of high school, Gentry was drafted originally by the Orioles, who offered him more money than any other club ever did. But his father said, you must get at least 2 years of college. He said his father made the decision. He was later drafted by Houston and the Giants, did not sign with either. Then when he finished that 1 year at Arizona State, the Mets made him an offer. D. Fundy signed him, and he came on to the Mets.
He has now struck out 3, walked 1. The Orioles have runners on first and third, 2 down, and Ellie Hendricks the batter. There's a drive into deep left center. Racing hard is A.G. What a grab! Tom A.G. saves 2 runs.
Tommy A.G. going all the way to the track. Look at the backhand stab with the glove. And now he'll have to break himself with the bare hand on the wall. A lot of white showing. Look at that ball.
Boy, he just had that one, Lindsay. Standing ovation for A.G. as he comes in. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left at the end of 3.5. New York 3 and Baltimore nothing. Powell bounces a hit to right. Robinson goes to third. With men on first and third and 2 outs, Gentry faces Elrod Hendricks. The scene is now set for one of the great catches in World Series history. Hendricks belts it to deep left center. A.G. races for it. What a play. Let's watch that amazing catch again in slow motion as Tom A.G. robs the Baltimore Orioles of 2 big runs. Crowd still buzzing about the catch by Tom A.G. Even though Powell's a slow man, he might have been able to score from first base. There were 2 down, and both men were going on the crack of the bat. Robinson at third. Foul back. 1-1 pitch by Palmer. Ball 2, 2-1.
Kurt A.G. and Jones are graduates of the Mobile County Training School in Mobile, Alabama, and they have a lesson plan this week. The lesson plan is there are no lessons planned for the time the World Series is on NBC.
And the drive out to Frank Robinson. He's got it. 4 putouts for Frank Robinson in right field. Don't forget to tune in on the Today Show for Joe Garagiola and his analysis of the World Series with special guests each day on NBC. Gary Grody up. The late tuners in. A.G. homered in the first. With 2 down, nobody on, Grody walked, Harrelson singled, and the pitcher, Gentry, doubled him in. Ground ball to second. Dave Johnson to Boog Powell, and there are 2 down. Here's Bud Harrelson up now. He singled in the second. The wind has really freshened up now. It must be 15, 20 miles an hour, and dirt is swirling around home plate and in the skin part of the infield. 3-2 pitch. Foul out of play. Everybody's red hot today. The players and the fans in the stand. That's the 3rd walk given up by Palmer. Barry Gentry will get a big hand. Jim Hardin is going back to work in the Baltimore bullpen. Gentry doubled in 2 runs in the second. Knocked in only 1 run all year. The way this wind is blowing now, we could have some peculiar thing happen to pop-ups and fly balls. Look out. You may have obstruction called here. Obstruction has been called on Boog Powell. Boog Powell obstructed with him. Here comes Earl Weaver out. Powell going for the ball. Harrelson tried to get around him and went down. And that's Larry Knapp on the right. Earl Weaver, the Baltimore manager.
look at it again. Here's a throw over to first that gets by. And now watch Harrelson and Boog Powell. And Harrelson almost gets by, and then he's flipped by Powell. And the call was made by the plate umpire, Larry Knapp.
Struck him out. In the fourth for the Mets. No runs, no hits, no errors, one left. At the end of 4 innings at Shea Stadium, it's the New York Mets 3 and the Baltimore Orioles nothing. Ground ball, deep in the hole. The throw, Harrelson throws him out. An excellent play by Bud Harrelson. That's the play the scouts, when they look at shortstops, they say they have to make.
Watch Harrelson now go into the hole and watch him get rid of that ball in a hurry with a lot on it. Makes that move into the hole and knows that he'll have to throw quickly from that deep. 2 great fielding shortstops in this World Series, Belanger and Harrelson.
And here's Belanger up, Lindsay. Grounded to short his first time. Ground ball to short. Harrelson again. He's now had 4 assists and a putout in this game. Earl Weaver, the Oriole manager, looking on.
Number 22.
Jim Palmer fouled out his first time. Ground ball. Here comes Harrelson for it. And he made all the plays in the fifth inning, Bud Harrelson. 3 up and 3 down for the Orioles. At the end of 4.5 innings, the score, New York 3 and Baltimore nothing. The big hand is for Tom Agee, who's made the play of the game. He'll be leading off the last of the 5th inning, and in here to carry you the rest of the way with play-by-play is the Met broadcaster and telecaster, Mr. Lindsey Nelson.
Thank you very much, Kurt Gowdy, and hello again, everybody. Tommy Agee, who was the Rookie of the Year in the American League with the Chicago White Sox in 1966. Had 14 home runs here at Shea Stadium to lead the Mets in that department this year. He had 26 overall. 1 for 2 today. Jim Palmer started, has been in all the way for the Orioles. Let up outside, and it's ball 1. Line drive to short. Belanger makes the catch of the line drive. Mark Belanger, considered the best glove shortstop in the American League.
Number 11.
That brings up Wayne Garrett, who has been called out on strikes and walked. He has improved consistently. Pitch is high for a ball. It's 1-0. That's high. Inside. Palmer goes behind 3-0. He struck out 2 and walked 4. Low, he walked him, and that is the second time Garrett's drawn a walk from Palmer. That is the 5th base on balls issued by the Oriole right-hander. And Cleon Jones will be coming up. Jones has flied to right and struck out swinging. Onside and hit the deck. It's 2-1. Popped up into right field, and moving up is Frank Robinson. Next to catch, Garrett halfway, returns to first, 2 away.
Lindsay, we went out of that inning and Palmer made that throw to first. And we had the collision there. They have charged Palmer with an error to that throw. That's the only error that's been in the ballgame so far.
So Art Shamsky is coming up now for the Mets. Slide to right and grounded out to first base unassisted on a run and hit play. He hit an even 300 during the season. Hammered on the ground to second. Dave Johnson goes to first to Boog Powell, and the side is retired. So it's no runs, no hits, no errors, a walk and 1 left. And at the end of 5 full innings of play, the score is the Mets 3 and the Orioles nothing. Don Buford is up for the Orioles in the top of the 6th with a count of 2-0. That's in for a call strike. It's 2-1. It's 2-2. Breaking pitch struck him out.
Center fielder.
That was the fourth strikeout for Gary Gentry.
Number 6.
And is popped up to the left side. Harrelson is called for it. The Mets shortstop puts it away. 2 away, and Frank Robinson will be the batter.
Right fielder.
He's been on base both times he's been up. He walked and singled to left field. Walked him on 4 pitches. Second walk issued by Gentry. He walked Robinson in the first inning. So with 2 men out, and Robinson at first, Boog Powell comes up. Grounded out second to first and single to right. He has a base hit to right. Robinson will go to third. He's on the way. Shamsky's throw goes to second base. And Boog Powell is on with his second base hit.
One of the few bad pitches Gentry's thrown. He hung that curveball up over the plate for him, that high curve.
So now there are runners at first and third with 2 men out, and Brooks Robinson will be tying run at the plate. So that gets Grody out there for a word.
Third baseman. Brooks Robinson.
Robinson is grounded out and struck out. Nolan Ryan getting up to throw down there in the bullpen. There is the hard-throwing right-hander, Nolan Ryan, who relieved Gentry the day the Mets won the National League pennant here at Shea Stadium a week ago yesterday. And it's popped up down the right field line. It'll be a tough chance for anybody to get to, but Shamsky's there. And he makes the catch. So it is no runs, 1 hit, a walk, no errors, and 2 men left. And in the middle of the 6th inning, the score is the Mets 3 and the Baltimore Orioles nothing.
Last to the 6th inning, Lindsay.
The pennants and the banners are a trademark of Shea Stadium as Ken Boswell comes up. It's a ground ball wide of Powell, and it is taken at second by Johnson, who throws on to Palmer, who's off the bag at first. He's safe. What a play by Dave Johnson.
Powell off the bag. Look at this stab by Johnson. A spectacular play. His throw is there, but watch Palmer now. His foot is not on the bag. Palmer coming, has to go up for the throw. Pulls his foot off the bag. And safe is Boswell. It's a ground ball wide of first. Dave Johnson makes a fine play. Pitcher Palmer covers but misses the bag, and Boswell is safe.
It is a base hit for Ken Boswell, and Ed Kranepool is coming up now. Kranepool was not an original Met. I think it's interesting that when the Mets played their first game at the Polo Grounds in '62, he laid out of James Monroe High School to see the game. The next year on opening day, he was playing right field and batting third. Runner goes. Ground ball to Johnson at second. Makes the play to Powell, and the runner moves up. Another run and hit play that moved Boswell to second. And Jerry Grody's coming up. Grody walked and grounded out second to first. Last year, Grody was the National League's all-star catcher. Line down the left field line, and it is a fair ball. It scores a run as Boswell comes on to score. Grody goes to second with a double and a run batted in. The Mets are leading 4-0.
That was a lazy curve that Palmer hung over the plate, and Grody timed it perfect. Jerry Grody up, and he promptly doubles down the left field line. Boswell trots in with another run, making the score 4-0 in favor of the Mets, and the Met fans let loose.
Grody is at second with 1 man out and 1 run in. The Mets lead 4-0. 2-2 pitch. In there for a call strike. Got him on the breaking pitch. That is the third strikeout for Jim Palmer. 2 Mets away, and Gary Gentry is coming up.
Number 39.
Gentry is getting a standing ovation here at Shea. Make that 4 strikeouts for Palmer. Struck him out, so that is strikeout number 5 for Palmer, and the side is retired. In the bottom of the 6th, 1 run on 2 hits, no errors and 1 left. At the end of 6 full innings of play, the score is the Mets 4 and the Orioles nothing. Let's go down to Tony Kubek.
Thank you, Lindsey Nelson. With me down here, a great Mets fan and also the governor of the state of New York, Nelson Rockefeller. This is quite a ball team, sir.
Tommy, this is the greatest. Never seen anything like it, and it's just wonderful to welcome everybody here to the Shea Stadium.
They're sure making some great plays behind Gentry.
Well, Gentry, not only is pitching, but when he knocked in that double, fantastic. And as for A.G., that first home run in the first inning, I want to say this is the most exciting game, and this is just pulling New York City and New York State together, solid behind the Mets.
Governor Nelson Rockefeller, thank you so much. Let's go on back upstairs.
All right, Tony Kubek, it's Ellie Hendricks up to lead off now. He's gone 0 for 2, and in the 4th inning, it was A.G. who made the great catch off him over in left center. It is ball 1.
We get through with this series, that Kubek's going to be quite a name dropper, isn't he?
I tell you, he gets around among the people, doesn't he? In the air to center field, and A.G. has called for it. One away.
Second baseman.
Dave Johnson is the batter. Hop to short, grounded out short to first as Harrelson went into the hole to throw him out, leading off the 5th inning. Center field, and A.G. goes back, and he slips and regains his balance to make the catch. Took a divot.
Shortstop.
And like all good outfielders, he replaces divots.
Number 7.
Low for a ball.
Noticed about these Met pitchers, Lindsey, they don't waste any time between deliveries. They get out there and they work, make that ball game move.
Get the ball and throw it back. Here's a pitch low. There's a feeling that a pitcher who takes a long time between pitches may do a disservice to those behind him. Dave May on deck. Low. It's 3-0. Leonard's throwing in the bullpen. Dave May on deck to bat for Jim Palmer if Belanger gets on. There are 2 men out. Here's a 3-0 pitch. Called strike. It's 3-1. It's 3-2. Gentry has struck out 4, walked 2. And this is a payoff pitch. Walked him. 3rd walk issued by Gentry. So it is now going to be Dave May, who hit .242 during the season with 3 home runs, batting for Jim Palmer.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, for Baltimore, batting for Palmer, number 12, Dave May.
So Palmer is out of the ball game after pitching 6 innings. He gave up 4 runs on 5 hits, struck out 5, walked 4. Gary Gentry. Low. Here comes Rube Walker, the pitching coach of the New York Mets. One-time teammate of Met manager Gil Hodges with the old Brooklyn Dodgers. Somebody said to Hodges, "Why would you have a catcher as your pitching coach?" Gil said, "Why not?" Nolan Ryan getting up to throw again in the Met bullpen. Breaking pitch, a little low. Brody thought he might get a call. It's out full at 3-2, an automatic start for Belanger at first base. And here goes, and he walked him. Fourth walk issued by Gentry, second consecutive base on balls. Gives the Orioles runners at first and second, 2 men out, and Don Buford coming up.
Number 9.
Gentry a little wild now, but he's throwing just as hard as he did earlier in the game. He still has his good fastball.
Nolan Ryan, Tug McGraw. Two-one delivery. 3-1. If he should put Buford on, and he is only one pitch away from doing that, it would bring up a situation of tying run at the plate. Paul Blair is on deck. There's Hodges, arms folded. He's looking out toward the bullpen. 3-1. Walked him. The bases are loaded. The fifth walk issued by Gentry. Here comes Hodges. They're loaded with 2 men out. The sign has gone to the bullpen. That's going to be all for Gentry. I would imagine he'll get some kind of a hand when he leaves the mound here. Nolan Ryan. Tug McGraw, and McGraw is saying to Ryan, he wants you.
The Orioles top of the 7th. There are 2 men down when Gentry walks himself into a jam. He starts it by walking Mark Belanger. Baltimore's Dave May, pinch hitting for pitcher Jim Palmer, also walks. Belanger goes to second. There's a breeze blowing through Shea Stadium as Gentry faces Don Buford. Buford also walks to load the bases. And suddenly, the Mets have a crisis. Gentry can't get that third out. Manager Gil Hodges does some walking of his own out to the mound. Hodges now makes a daring decision. He's taking the rookie out after he pitched 3-hit ball for 6 2/3 innings. And Gentry gets an ovation as he comes to the Met dugout.
Again, let's go down to Tony Kubek.
Thank you, Lindsay. Down here with me, and one of the all-time great managers, my old manager, Casey Stengel. Casey, Gentry certainly lost it fast, didn't he?
Yes, I think that he was getting a little too excited this time. He's anxious to win. And, of course, being that many runs behind, to have the take sign on. And you could tell that the hitter was just irritating him and to try and make him throw that ball over the plate. But they were told to wait out. Now the dangerous part is it's a wonderful pitcher going in. He's a young man. The idea is with 3 men on bases, can you throw a strike? Now, if you can't throw a strike, you're in bad shape now. But the kid did pitch wonderful up to this hour, and he wasn't very heavy. You know, he's not too heavy a kid, and I think he was pitching a little too fast with the take sign on.
Thank you very much, Casey. Fans, you heard it from the expert, Casey Stengel. Let's go on back upstairs.
The bases are loaded. 2 men are out. It's the tying run at the plate. Paul Blair is there. He's flied to center, struck out, and popped to short. Nolan Ryan in to do the pitching. This year in 89 innings, he struck out 92 batters. He's one of the hardest throwers in the major leagues. Fastball, in there for a foul strike. Paul Blair was taking the pitch, as you'd expect him to. Ryan won 6 and lost 3, was the winning pitcher of the game that clinched the National League pennant for the Mets. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 2. In Nolan Ryan's lifetime in the majors, he's pitched 226 innings and struck out 231 batters. Count is 0-2. And it is a fly ball. It'll be tough to get to. A.G. is going, and A.G. takes it down. Big catch. He's out.
This man has possibly saved 5 runs in this game. Watch it in slow motion. The wind is blowing out
Now Agee twice has clutched this ball in the webbing of his glove. Once against Hendricks with 2 on and 2 out. This time with the bases loaded and 2 out. A skidding skull and another standing ovation for him when he came in.
In the middle of the 7th, it is the Mets 4 and the Orioles nothing.
Thrill to it again in slow motion. Agee's diving, skidding, one-handed catch with the bases loaded once again saves the Mets.
The ovation is for Tommy Agee. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. This is Lindsey Nelson with Kurt Gowdy at Shea Stadium.
Lindsey, it happened so many times. How many times when that man makes the great play in the field, he comes in to lead off?
Happened very appropriately here, and they really gave him an ovation. Agee, who opened this ball game for the Mets with a home run, is coming up. Well, the World Series creates heroes, and Agee has been the hero of the day for the New York Mets. Dave Leonard's in to do the pitching now for the Orioles. Blowing away for a ball. Palmer pitched 6 innings, gave up 4 runs on 5 hits, struck out 5 and walked 4.
Yeah, they talk about John Frito's catch off DiMaggio at the stadium, Willie Mays off the bat with Vic Wertz at the Polo Grounds. Here's a man that's made 2 historic catches in 1 game.
Mets are batting in the bottom of the 7th, leading 4-0, and Agee draws a walk. You'll notice he has a lot of the physical mannerisms of Willie Mays, and it's not by accident.
Third baseman,
Wayne Garrett's up, and on base twice today with 2 walks. He struck out his first time up. Ball is bunted, first base side, taken by Leonard and played to Johnson. If you're scoring, make it a sack, 1-4, moving Agee to second base. That's Lopez in the bullpen. Now Cleon Jones is coming up. Cleon twice has flied to right and once has struck out. He's gone 0 for 3 here today. Popped up to the right side. Frank Robinson moves up. Makes the catch. Agee holds it second. 2 away.
right fielder.
Tomorrow, World Series coverage begins at 12:30, 11:30 Central Time with World Series Report hosted by Jim Simpson with Sandy Koufax and Mickey Mantle, followed by World Series game number 4 with Tom Seaver facing either Tom Phoebus or Mike Cuellar. In the air to left field, Don Buford is there. So the side is out. It's no runs, no hits, no errors, a walk and 1 left. And at the end of 7 full innings of play, the score is the Mets 4 and the Orioles nothing. We go to the 8th inning now, and Frank Robinson is up. The Mets have made 2 defensive moves. Al Weiss is at second, and Rod Gasper's in right field. Nolan Ryan's pitch is high for ball 1. That is Weiss at second base, and that's Gasper in right field. Payoff pitch. Deep left field, and it is Cleon Jones at the wall, and Agee makes the catch. Agee and Jones both there, and Agee took the fly ball at the wall. One away, and Boog Powell is coming up.
John.
He's 2 for 3.
Number 26.
In there for a call strike. Swing and a miss. It's strike 2. There is Jackie Onassis here at the World Series today. And there's John just making the exit. Now Bed heading for the concession stand. And tight. And there's a real Met fan, Pearl Bailey. She is at Shea Stadium frequently. Star of Hello Dolly on Broadway. He's out of there on strikes. Nolan Ryan's first strikeout. 2 Orioles away in the 8th. Brooks Robinson coming up, grounded out, struck out, and flied out. Foul ball, backing out of play for strike 1. Jerry Lewis on hand today. Tony Kubek checking in with him. Check swing, foul ball. It's 1-2. Fouled off and out of play. When Ryan first came to the New York Mets, there was no question that he could throw as hard as anybody ever did. The thing was to try to work on him so that he could get a breaking pitch to use with the fastball and be able to control the breaking pitch. So that's what he's been working on now. Came in a little heavy this year. A little low, and it is full at 3-2 to a breaking pitch. It's out full now. The Mets are leading 4-0, and the Orioles are batting in the top of the 8th. Payoff pitch. Struck him out with a fastball. Second strikeout for Ryan. Retired the side in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. In the middle of the 8th inning, the score is the Mets 4 and the Orioles nothing. Now down to Tony Kubek.
Thank you, Lynchy. With me, Jerry Lewis. And Jerry, are you a Met fan?
I didn't leave Los Angeles last night and land in Baltimore. Did you notice? Am I a Met fan?
Gil Hodges is a great friend here.
Yeah, we've been friends for years. It's pretty exciting. You hold it down for a minute, for crying out loud. Knock it off.
Jerry Lewis, thank you so much.
Nice seeing you,
Back
Tony.
to live action.
Rod Gasper with a count of strike 1. Gasper up for his first time in this ball game. He is a switch hitter, batting left. Popped up into left center. Long run for Buford, but he gets there and makes the catch. Don Buford.
First baseman, Ed Kranepool.
That brings up Kranepool.
Number 7.
Popped to short, line to right, grounded out second to first. Kranepool was signed for a reported $85,000 right out of high school. Home run that puts the Mets out in front 5-0.
Catcher, number 15.
In the Mets 8, Ed Kranepool, the only Met who's been with him since their first year, hits his first series homer, making the score 5-0 in favor of the National League champion. And that smile tells it all. From the cellar to the World Series. That's right. Fantastic.
Jerry Grody's up and takes a pitch high for ball 1. Right field. Frank Robinson going back. Makes the catch. 2 away. Bud Harrelson, single, walked, and struck out.
Bud Harrelson, number 3.
Struck him out. Leonard gets his first strikeout. The Mets are out. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors and none left at the end of 8 full innings of play. The score is the Mets 5 and the Orioles nothing. World Series game number 4 tomorrow, and we'll be on the air at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Through 8 innings of play, the New York Mets 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors. The Baltimore Orioles no runs, 3 hits, 1 error. Ellie Hendricks is leading off for the Orioles in the 9th inning.
Number 10.
Pop to third. Fly to left center where A.G. made a circus catch, and fly to center where A.G. made the out in the 7th inning. Hendricks is 0 for 3. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Nolan Ryan working in relief of Gary Gentry, who is the pitcher of record. A high fly ball to short right field. Rod Gasper's there. 1 away.
Second baseman, Dave Johnson.
Our statistician today, Alan Roth. Our production stage manager, Jim O'Gorman. Dave Johnson has gone 0 for 3. Nolan Ryan has retired 5 consecutive batters since he came in with the bases loaded in the top of the 7th. 2-strike delivery, foul back. Count holds at 2 strikes. Tommy Agee's performance here at Shea Stadium today will go down in World Series record books as one of those great days that fans remember. That's a drive to right. Gasper right there. You would have thought he'd been planted there. Gil Hodges surveying the scene as he has done all year long. Mark Belanger is coming up. He's gone 0 for 2 and a walk. He missed slow, and it's out full at 3 and 2. He walked him, and Clay Dalrymple will be coming up now. Clay Dalrymple will bat for Dave Leonard. That is the first walk issued by Ryan, the first base runner off Ryan, who had retired 6 consecutive batters.
Baltimore. Batting for Leonard, number 3.
Dalrymple came over to the Orioles from the Philadelphia Phillies, so he's played against the Mets, and he's played here many times. Ground ball to second. Smothered by Weiss, but too late. He's safe at second. And on at first is Clay Dalrymple.
Al Weiss, with outstanding range, has to dive for this one. And with that ball smothered in the ground, trouble coming up with it. At first base, a good jump there by Belanger to go in ahead, and the Orioles are still alive. They now have 2 men on, 2 down, and the top of the order up, Buford.
Number 30, Chico Simone.
Chico Simone is coming to run now for Dalrymple, who is credited with a base hit. That's hit number 4 for the Orioles, the first one off Ryan. Don Buford is coming up. He's gone 0 for 3 and a walk today. Now action in the Met bullpen. Ron Taylor up and throwing again, and the left-hander is Tug McGraw. That's down the line and left. If it stays fair, it'll be extra bases, and it's a foul ball. A long foul ball to the left field corner off the bat of Don Buford.
Lindsay, the Orioles must feel like a frustrated team today. Every time they've had a chance, A.G. has come up with those great plays. He's saved 5 runs in this game. The Mets relieved, bringing a harder thrower than the one that started. There's a sense of frustration. The Orioles haven't been able to hit much yet.
That's low. Now Ryan's gone behind 3-1. That's what. 3-1 count. Paul Blair next in the order for the Orioles. Making a bid here in the top half of the ninth inning. Walked him, and the bases are loaded. The Orioles have loaded him up off Ryan. With 2 men out, Paul Blair will be the batter, and Gil Hodges comes to the mound. He has Ron Taylor warm in the bullpen now. Taylor has worked in each of the first 2 games. And Ryan stays in the ballgame. Gil Hodges, in his second year as manager of the New York Mets, he managed the Washington Senators for 5 years. They improved steadily each year with finishes of 10th, 9th, 8th, 8th, and 6th. Paul Blair up. The Mets are leading 5-0. The bases are loaded with 2 men out. In there for a called strike. Blair's gone 0 for 4 today. Agee made a great catch off him in the 7th inning in right center field. A diving catch. Bases were loaded at that time, too. Foul back. It's 2 strikes. Belanger is at third base. Simone is at second. Buford is at first. 2 away. Be a 2-strike delivery. In there for a call strike 3. Struck him out with a breaking pitch. Struck him out with the curveball, and the New York Mets win the ball game. Gary Gentry gets the win, and the Mets go up 2-1 over the Orioles. Yogi Berra there. Gary Grody waiting for Tommy Agee to go into the dugout with him. That's Clendenon waiting for Agee. It was Agee's day. So the final score was the New York Mets. 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Baltimore, no runs, 3 hits, 1 error.
Top of the 9th now, with the Mets still ahead 5-0 and 2 outs. Mark Belanger walks. The next batter is Clay Dalrymple, pinch hitting for the pitcher. Al Weiss makes a beautiful stop, but Belanger beats the play. The next batter, Don Buford, walks to load the bases. Once again, the Mets are in trouble. They're only 1 out away from winning Game 3, but Baltimore has the bases loaded. Manager Hodges talks it over with his battery and decides to let Ryan meet the challenge. The 22-year-old Texan proves his manager's faith is well-founded. He gets 2 strikes on the dangerous Paul Blair. 1 more to go. Victory! The Mets win their 2nd straight, 5-0, and now lead in the World Series 2-1.